My name is James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Habit number 2. Alright, so first off, my first video I did about a series, and you guys can see it and you'll figure it out. This video is a little bit more important. Alright, so as you know, our president has done it again, man. And I know that I'm only feeding the propaganda machine. But this ain't about me, and how much I can't stand this bastard. This is about the armed forces. This is about the military and what the fuck, yo. Alright, first off, if you are a child and your parent is a Donald Trump supporter, cut this off right now. If you are 15 and below, go watch G.I. Joe. Alright? And if you're 18 and above, then stay here and show me some love. So this morning on today's show, Donald Trump had this thing yesterday in Arizona about shutting down the government and we need to build this wall. You have billions of dollars. You've been bankrupt 4 times. How about going for a 5th time and you build the wall your goddamn self? Alright, now, respectfully, as a vet, he's doing things to help us vets, so he says. I'll find out when the military contacts me and say, hey, James, we're no longer going to give you $260 a month. We're going to bump that up to $2,060 a month. That would be great. That shit ain't going to happen. But if it does, I'll be sure to let you know. Because $2,060 a month would be enough to get out of my mama's house. It would also make me a whole lot more richer than I am now. That shit ain't going to happen. Now, due to the weather and the shifting and all kinds of stuff, and I've been sick for like almost 2 weeks, but not like cold sick, with like stomach ailment and stuff like that. Now my nose is running because I just came in from outside and it was warm outside and it's cool in here, and I have some sinus issues. Now, this asshole, they had something about him last week about Secret Service being overextended with all the 40 some odd family members that they're going to have to protect probably for the rest of these people's lives, because that's what Secret Service does. Now, they need to hire more Secret Service people, but in a world where you can barely trust anybody, it's kind of difficult to do. Plus, you got a lot of people who don't like Trump, and you just don't know. You really don't. You don't know who you can trust, and anybody can be the screening process. If that wasn't the case, the incident in Quantico with the soldier that went off on his own would have never happened. It doesn't take much to be the screening system, because basically all you do is answer truthfully and answer common sense questions. So let's get back to my main point here. So apparently, he has said something about getting rid of all transgender people in service, not letting more transgender people serve in service. And I'm thinking to myself, as a vet, now I'm not a transgender person, I'm a dude. I could whip my pecker out right now, but YouTube has a strong nudity policy. And the only nudity you've seen of me has been in a towel and from the chest up. And you've seen my scar on my hip. Now, this asshole is taking the right away from people who want to serve our country. He didn't serve. I didn't serve the way I wanted to serve, but I served. This asshole wants to stop you from your God-given right to serve so that your family doesn't have to serve. All my uncles before me have served. Some of my cousins are serving right now. On my father's side, I have a young cousin. He's serving right now. I don't remember if he's Air Force or Army, but I know he's serving right now. Heads out to you. He laughs at me all the time. His sister's a singer. On my mother's side, almost every one of her brothers have served. So basically, you can say I come from a somewhat military family. On my father's side, my Uncle Robert Henry served. So I had 2 uncles in the Navy here and an uncle in the Army here. And for this asshat to try to take the right away from people who want to serve this country, to protect us, to protect his dumb ass, so that we all can sleep at night, I'm calling bullshit on that. I'm sorry, if you guys don't like cussing, this is the wrong video for you to be watching, because I'm calling straight bullshit on that. A person who is transgender has just as much right to serve this country as a person like me that is not transgender. No. I would say I was normal, but I'm far from it. I'm probably the most psychopathic person did you ever watch on YouTube. I don't have a problem with that because I'm honest. Everybody has a little bit of psycho in them, and if you want to know why I got that from Margaret Cho because there is a psycho in Cho, or there is a Cho in psycho. Either way, shout out to Margaret. But anyway, this son of a bitch, you know, he hung with high rollers. Some of his high rollers are racist. He's swearing to heaven and hell he's not a racist. And I say to you again, for those who don't believe that Donald Trump is a racist, you carry your ass down to the Dakota states and you going over to Standing Rock and asked him, well, why did you take the protection order that Obama put on their land away? It says racist to me. So he's racist and he's prejudiced because he's attacking transgender people. He's attacking transgender children. He's attacking transgender servicemen and women who want to serve this country. Let me tell you something. I ain't got no problem with the military. I didn't have a problem going in. I have a problem now that I'm out. And this has been said by every veteran, and I never thought I would say it, but I'm going to say it. It's real good while you're in. It's when you get out, it's like you just swept under the rug. And that is where we need to fix that problem. That's the only problem I have with the military. Look, I'm tired of playing hurry up and wait. And I know there's 1,000 of people that are fucking worse shape than me that have come first. World War One, World War Two, World War whatever the fuck. Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan. All the wars that we've had since I've been born and before I was born. These vets still haven't gotten their restitution. And that's not cool. But, restitution, reparations, same fucking concept to me. Y'all can tell I'm a person of color. Anyway, for him to try to take the rights of soldiers who are already serving, you in the military, I'm going to give it to you straight. Once you get past the ASVAB test and you sign your name on the dotted line, you're government property until your contract is up. You cannot breach those contracts. He does not have the fucking authority to kick them out of the military. Well, he might because he is the commander-in-chief. But that's discrimination. The lawsuit that these soldiers can get from his ass and get a jag up in there will have all you Republicans trying to impeach him. Because guess what? We pay the soldiers to save us. And without soldiers to save us, we are dead meat. Alright? I'm sure you guys didn't want to hear that. But those dog tags right there, every fucking soldier that is strapped on one of these dog tags and a PC and a mic and a flick and a rucksack, these bitches mean something to us. They're not just our ID tags. They are a part of the uniform and they are a part of the oath that we took to serve and protect against foreign and domestic terrorists. I'm sorry. I'm probably going to get shut down for this. Our president is basically a domestic terrorist. He hasn't done anything to terrorize citizens, but politically, how are you going to get rid of soldiers who are obligated to save your dumb ass? He's a fucking domestic terrorist as far as I'm concerned. Now, I'm not saying he's radicalizing everybody to go against transgender people. But why would you go against people who are fighting to keep your ass sleeping safe at night in your high-rise? Something doesn't seem right with that. You would think that as the President of the United States, you would encourage people to join the military, to protect the thousands and the millions of people in America alone, not just because NATO, the bulk of NATO is us as Americans. Every military service that we have, Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, National Guard, Reserves, Coast Guard, all of us, we're the bulk of NATO. In case you didn't fucking know, now you do. The United States military is the bulk of NATO. No, we're the bulk of it. In Canada and like the big countries, all the big countries are pretty much the bulk of NATO. So when NATO comes in to rescue your ass, a lot of those soldiers are American soldiers. Alright? I did not know that until I joined the fucking army. Alright? And this asshole wants to take out transgender people. That's like probably a fifth. He might come after regular gay people next, which is another fourth or fifth, depending on how well you want to divide the percentage up. To be honest, no one can look at someone in the military and decide, well, this guy's transgender, or this guy's gay, or this guy used to be a girl, and now he's a guy, and he's infantry. Um, we all look the same when we wear them damn uniforms. We're all green, one color, one unity, one shot, one kill. That's what we do. Now that's the infantry motto, so I'm sorry, I was infantry. But for him, the commander in chief, to blame transgender people for medical expenses. Let me tell you, alright, check this out. When I was in Fort Benning, this is what our medical expenses covered: hearing, eyes, teeth. See, perfectly. Well, my teeth were okay when I went in. But teeth, your eyes, your ears, and your physical and your cardio. That's it. The military doesn't really give you gender reassignment surgery. Now, you can pay for that shit on your own. They don't recommend you do it while you're in service, because you can't go in as James Williams and come back out as Jamie Elizabeth Williams. You can't do that. And if you can, that's new to me. But anyway, when I went in with the dick. I intend on coming out with the dick. All right, so that's just, and I was called the dick a lot. But for the most part, there's nothing wrong with military service. I don't think it's fair that all of a sudden we got this redheaded gender SOB who's been bankrupt like 4 times running the ship, and he's gonna tell you, because you no longer want to be a man, you want to be a chick, you can't be in the military. Now, in case you guys don't know, there was a drill sergeant or a sergeant, staff sergeant, I forgot whatever his rank was, bad motherfucker, one of the snipers. He has a documentary out there somewhere where he went on his transgender journey. He started off as a man and became a woman. I respect his ass, not just because of the military, because it takes a strong person to live in themselves. People rag on me all the time because I'm multicultural and I feel more Cherokee. Okay? I'll admit it. I would prefer to be Cherokee. That shit's not going to happen because I can't deny the other two halves. I can't deny the fact that I'm black. I can't deny the fact that I'm white. But no one really has to accept it. Most people, when they look at me, they think I'm either Hawaiian or Mexican. So, go fuck yourself on that one. But what are you going to do? You can't kick soldiers out of the military. The contract is ironclad. And soldiers can fight this shit. That contract is ironclad. So unless you're honorably or dishonorably discharged, they cannot dishonorably discharge you for being transgender. That cannot happen. It will not happen. And if they do, that lady who just won the lottery? Well, if that happens, so did you. Because that's discrimination, it's sexist, it's prejudice, and that shit is not tolerated in the military. Because in the military, we all one family. Once a serviceman or woman, always a serviceman or woman. You took me out of the army. You ain't take the army out of me. I'm still down with the get down. I might not be up to speed on a lot of shit other than what I learned on the news, because civilians, we don't get Fort Benning TV. And since I don't live in GA, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't get it all the way up here in the VA. But, the military has its own TV channel, and that's how most servicemen get a lot of the local military news. They get it through the service channels, because the service channels is like a private channel. It's like it's not like you can get cable and get this shit. You actually have to be in the service to get this channel. And most servicemen, we watch it because we need to be informed on who the hell's coming to get our asses, or whose asses we're going to go get. And that's probably something I probably shouldn't have said, but it's the truth. And while we're on that, how in the hell does this asshole who doesn't serve, none of his children are serving, how do you think you have the balls to tell someone who wants to serve our country, who wants to live and die and breathe in our country as if it's their debt? Here's the thing. Freedom has a price. These bitches right here is it. These things right here, these dog tags, this is why you have your freedom. This is why we serve. So that my grandmother or my grandson, if I live long enough to have children, won't have to. Because they'll know that somebody took up the mantle. Somebody picked up an AR-15. Just like many centuries ago when somebody in my ancestral hood picked up a bow and arrow and was shooting people for this land. And I'm not a transgender person, but I respect them. And a lot of that I owe to the people that I've met that were gay or transgender in real life. And then there's I Am Jazz. You know, you live and you learn. And if you're not willing to live and learn, then unfortunately, we burn. I'll make a second part of this video because it's 15 minutes long and it's an interesting debate.